In this problem, we're analysing a collision between two rugby players. We have a forward of mass 110 kilograms moving at a speed of 5 meters per second. The forward collides with a back who's travelling in the opposite direction at a speed of 7 meters per second. The question asks us to take the velocity of the forward player as being in the positive direction. So here's a drawing of the two players before they collide. So any vector that points towards the right of the screen is going to be positive. Any vector pointing towards the left, such as this 7 meters per second velocity, is going to be a negative. Let's calculate the momentum before the two players collide. Our momentum is going to be given by the momentum of the forward added to the momentum of the back. Now for the forward, that's quite simply the mass, 110 kilograms, multiplied by 5. But for the back, the mass of 85 kilograms has to be multiplied by minus 7. And it's minus 7 to take account of the fact that the back is running in the opposite direction to the forward. So this gives us a total momentum before the players collide of minus 45 kilogram meters per second. Let's look now at what happens after the two players collide. We're told that they stick together, so we can draw them now as one object, and the mass of the single object will be the total mass of the two players. 110 plus 85 gives us 195 kilograms. We don't know their direction, so I'm labelling it as going to the right, but if we end up with a negative number, it means my arrow's the wrong way. So the momentum is given by mass times velocity. Again, that's just 195 multiplied by unknown speed v. Now we can apply the conservation of momentum. So we're saying that the total momentum before is equal to the total momentum after the collision. In other words, minus 45 is equal to 195 times v. So we can rearrange this to get an expression for v, and v is simply going to be minus 45 divided by 195. And that gives v equal to minus 0.23 meters per second. Now we've got a minus sign there. And remember what I said back when I drew the diagram for after? This minus shows us that the momentum is in the opposite direction to the initial movement of the forward. So how do we say this? We can say that the joined velocity after the collision is 0.23 meters per second in the same direction as the initial motion of the back, or we can say that it's 0.23 meters per second in the opposite direction to the initial motion of the rugby forward.